South Sudan, the opposition have withdrawn a threat to boycott peace talks with the government, saying mediators have promised to address their list of demands. Among the demands was the release of 4 remaining political prisoners held by the government and the withdrawal from South Sudan of the Ugandan army, which has been backing President Salva Kiir. East Africa's bloc, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, agrees with the opposition and now wants Ugandan forces to leave South Sudan.
With implementation of the cessation of hostility in South Sudan, then every external forces which has been invited by both parties has to withdraw from that theater of oppression phase by phase.
Well, a full-blown humanitarian disaster may hit South Sudan if billions of dollars in relief aid is not soon available. That's according to United Nations report. At a recent discussion here in Washington, experts, scholars and government officials talked to VOA about how the political rift between South Sudan's President Salva Kiir and his former Vice President Riek Machar erupted into a nationwide military conflict.
The then Vice President Riek Machar expressed his intention to run for president and basically to win the leadership of the SPLM.
President Kiir accused Machar of a coup attempt. Machar said that his house was attacked and he was forced to sneak out of the capital by boat.
The second scenario is that this whole thing was instigated by the president, who used tensions within the army between critics of his regime and his supporters to basically get rid of all the opposition.
He began to see all these people as his enemies.
In a strange way, almost ironically, the president was becoming more open to traditional opposition figures, someone like Makori, for example, who had his own political party, the SPLM-DC, and the president was bringing people like that into the fold and pushing out some of what were considered the liberation figure stalwarts.
The government in South Sudan has tended to mirror some of the tendencies of the North, which is a strong centralized government, very intent on maintaining control.
In the days leading up to the violent clashes breaking out, there was a meeting of the SPLM's senior political leadership, and some votes and decisions were taken about the way forward. And the way those votes shaked out weren't to the benefit of this side that considered themselves in the opposition.
There's going to have to be a lot of soul searching within the SPLM, but I think that reform is going to be critical because, at least in the near future, they are the ruling party.
President Salva Kiir was the right-hand man to John Garang, who was really the force behind South Sudan's liberation. John Garang died in a tragic plane crash, and so South Sudan, when it actually became independent, didn't have the leader who led them. And so Salva Kiir was tagged as the man to be president. At a certain point in time, Riek Machar led a force of his own that was, most people acknowledge, armed and equipped by Khartoum, and that force fought against John Garang's army.
The widow of John Garang is from the same tribe as the president, yet she was a critique of the president.
Personally, I don't think it's possible to conceive that either Salva Kiir or Riek Machar are going to negotiate.
Everyone's pushing very hard for the sides in this unraveling conflict to talk directly with one another and find a political solution.
Riek Machar wants the president to step down, and of course I would think that President Kiir doesn't believe that Riek Machar has any place since he's already dismissed him as his vice president.
And that's how you've seen this war break out, which is really a split in the national army, where battalions and divisions that consider themselves more loyal to Riek Machar are moving along his side, and then those who stayed loyal to the government, staying loyal to the government.
How do you manage all these generals from various different factions, all of whom were paid off basically to come in with their soldiers? In the short term, what do you do about 2 individuals who both want to be president?
I think they both disqualified themselves. I think accountability is not just on Riek Machar, I think it's also on President Kiir.
There are only 2 possibilities. Either both men are in or both men are out.